everybody, thanks for coming back for another episode. So this video is going to be all about how and why we make hay silage. So this video is probably going to span a time period of 2 or 3 days because it's a 2 or 3 day process. But we got supposedly 3 or 4 good days of weather. So step one is we're going to mow the field right by my house. It's about 24 acres and it's going to take usually around 22 to 23 acres to fill the silo. For those of you that don't know what this is what they call disc bond. It's a type of mower. It'll mow a 10 foot swath, and we got it hooked up to our Case Magnum 200. So a little bit about how this thing works. So you can see the blades here. So these all turn, and this will only be about a couple inches off the ground. It'll cut the grass at the base, and instead of like your yard mower or a bush hog where that grass stays in there and it gets chopped up, it'll cut the blade of grass at the base, and then you can see these big rollers up here. The blades will roll in between these rollers, and the rollers is what makes this thing technically a mower conditioner, because as the grass goes in between those rollers, the stems are squeezed, some of the moisture is let out, then it'll spit it back out the back of the mower, and we'll rely on the sun for the rest of the drying process. So normally when we're baling hay, you want to make it dry, but when it comes to making silage, you actually want it kind of wet. So I'm going to mow this field this afternoon, and hopefully by this time tomorrow it's going to be ready to chop in the silage. So normally we'd have these deflector shields set as wide as we can to let the hay dry out, but for this purpose we're going to move them in narrow to where we won't even have to rake it. I'll just mow it with this, and then we'll bring the chopper in and pick it up directly off the ground. So I'll show you guys what I'm cutting. So like I said, this field's about 24 acres. This will be the first cutting this year, and it's a mixture of orchard grass, which is what this taller stuff is, and then this leafy stuff at the bottom is alfalfa, and these little leaves on the alfalfa are just loaded with protein. So like I said, I'm only going to mow about half this field today, and then maybe mow the second half tomorrow, because we won't get started on chopping it until tomorrow afternoon, and there's no way we'd be able to get the whole field chopped in one afternoon, and we really don't want this stuff to lay on the ground too long, because then it'll get too dry. So what I'll do is mow about 6 rounds around the entire field and then split it in half. So right now, we always go around the outside first. So the tractor's on the outside and then the mower's on the inside. That way if anybody dumped out a bunch of trash or there's an occasional tire or two, hopefully hit that tire with the tractor first instead of hitting it with the mower and screwing a bunch of stuff up. Boys over here top dressing our corn, so we got all of our corn in pretty early. There for a while I thought it was going to be too early because I thought we was going to have to replant, but it all worked out. Everything's off to a good start right now. All of our corn, all of our beans are out of the ground. Steer would be nice because with this mower you're pretty much always turning to the right around the land. It makes some of these mowers that have a pivot on them to where you can go turn right or left. It's not a huge deal. I just started on one end of the field, picked out a window in my house and drove as straight as I can. Shouldn't be too bad. There might be a couple point rows, but not a huge deal. So this drone shot, you guys probably noticed the different streaks of collars. So the dark green was where the alfalfa is really thick, and then the lighter green's where there's not much alfalfa at all, and it's mostly orchard grass. So we really don't know what the problem is. We first discovered that in this field last year. My dad thinks it's a fertility problem, which could be the case. We had a big invasion of army worms a couple years ago, and they cleaned out a lot of our alfalfa. And then I kind of think we got a problem with our seeder. So it's just a basic ground-driven seeder. We don't use it a whole lot. There's no motors or anything on it, so you basically just set the gate opening and it's a controlled spill at that point. But it just seems to me with all those streaks, they're about the same width as that planter, a lot of them. And I just wonder if there's not a chain slipping somewhere or something's getting hung up. So the next time we do use that seeder, I'm going to ride on the back of it and make sure everything's turning it's supposed to be turning. Well, I'm working on the last pass here, and that's will be all that I'm going to mow today. So hopefully I'll catch back up with you guys tomorrow and we'll start chopping some silage. Good morning. So I'm back with you 2 days later. The hay didn't dry down quite as much as we needed it to yesterday. So it's about 8:30 in the morning and we're just now getting started. Dad's in the mower. He's going to mow down the rest of this field. My Uncle Speed's in the chopper. And then me and Van will be hauling back and forth, filling the silo. So I'll give you a quick explanation on how this unit worked. So this is our blower. So Dan will pull the wagon up and then turn the wagon on. It'll dump it into here. There's a cross conveyor. It carries it across to, it's basically just a big fan with paddles, and that thing's spinning really fast. It'll shoot the silage up the pipe. That's about 50 feet or so. And then I'll have to climb up about every other load. There's an adjustable spout there, so we try to fill the silo evenly. And then it'll probably take, I don't know, maybe 24, 25 loads. But hopefully we get that first half of the field done today. And then, like I said, Dad's mowing the other half, and I don't know if it'll be ready tomorrow or Sunday. We've dumped 3 loads so far, and we just discovered our first minor setback. Could be major, I guess. So the shaft, there's supposed to be a collar. We actually saw that it was missing a couple days ago when we was getting it ready, so we put the collar back on. But I don't know if I didn't tighten it up good enough or what, but it's gone. And then there's a flange bearing on this other side. It's all ripped up. So we're not gonna put any more silage in this wagon. We're trying to get a hold of the parts store, and if they got what we need, we may try to go up there at lunchtime and get this thing back in service. That was just the 8th load, so I'm going to take you guys up top and we'll see how we're doing. I'm guessing it's probably maybe a third full, I don't know. I hit my head on that thing every time. All right, we're up to top. I think there's 16 of those doors, and I see 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So yeah, we maybe get close to a third. Once this sets overnight, it'll settle a door or two, so we got quite a bit of ways to go. right, back with you guys on day 3 of this video. First 2 days went pretty well. We put up 17 loads so far, and I'm guessing we got 8 or 9 more to go to fill it. I don't know if we got enough hay mowed down to be able to fill it, but it's going to be close. Okay, the load we've all been waiting for, the last one. This is fun! Well, that's all she wrote. We'll have to level this out a little bit, then we're going to throw a layer of plastic on it to keep it airtight, and then she'll be good till next winter.